Hello, everyone. This is Tom, your host for the Hidden Truths channel. How's everybody doing this evening? I hope you're doing well on this Sunday evening. Well, I wasn't going to do a live stream today, but considering the events we had over the weekend all over the globe, including this country, Australia, and what happened in Syria, I think it's time to have a video because there may be a problem that we may have to deal with next year that's going to get far worse. But yeah, the events of this weekend, we need to talk about it. Anyway, that's what we're going to be talking about tonight because it's not going to get any better. Anyway, it seems like almost a coordinated attack, doesn't it? In a way. Anyway, we'll talk about that. So, appreciate all the new subscribers I got. Channel's really growing, even though YouTube's got the old brakes on. I tell you what, it's a challenge. I love a challenge. And the AI algorithm is a challenge. And I found out one of its weaknesses today. Not that it got any views, I just got to figure out a way to exploit it. So, but, you keep probing the defenses of it, you figure it out. Oh, I got somebody here. Appreciate the like. I appreciate it because we're going to have an interesting discussion tonight. And, but anyway, back to my channel growing. I really appreciate it. I did a video today to, content creators that may be wanting to give up because they feel their channels ain't going that great. And I just want people to know, YouTube is something you got to work at, something you got to strive to succeed at. And it takes time, be passionate about it. And, success, just like anything, you got to work at it. Okay. It's not given to you like a lot of people may think, but just push forward and your channel will be successful. Instead, I found out only 4% of the YouTube channels that start actually get monetized. So holy cow, I'm in the top 4%. Appreciate it. But hey, Jeff, I haven't seen you in a while. Appreciate you being here. We'll wait for a few more people to show up, and then we'll just start our discussion on the events of this weekend. They want us to give up I better not say this too early into the live stream. You have definitely put the effort in. Yeah, I have. The thing is, to me, it's not about money. I got monetized, but it's not about money. It's about getting the message out. Okay, we see what's going on in the country and all over the world now. Okay, people need to get woke up. People need to realize who the real enemy is. It's not your neighbor. It's not the one who says your politician says your enemy is. Okay, your neighbor's not interfering with your pursuit of happiness. We need to go after the ones that are. Anyway. Let's get on to the subject about what happened this weekend. I guess YouTube's going to do its little thing. Tell you what. I tried to put a short on this morning, right? 4 words. What was it? Division. I can't remember. I did the short, but it was only a 2-second long short, and they would not put that on the feed. They would not put that on the feed. It's like crazy time. They just, some of the stuff they don't want it getting out there. But anyway, back to the events of this weekend. Now, the one in Georgetown, they got a person of interest in. They even gave out his name and stuff and said he had weapons in his hotel room and stuff. But it's like they're sitting there saying they got to make sure they have all the ducks in a row with this guy before they come out with him. They got to make sure the shell casings match the gun. He's guilty until proven innocent with this guy. And I'm finding it awful strange that a person can walk into a college and then he supposedly yelled something, before he started shooting, Aloha snack bar or something, or maybe just pissed off because snack bar ran out of pineapple. Who knows? But anyway, he yelled something. and then shot that school up, and then 800 cameras in that school, and they don't have good footage of them. Just another Charlie Kirk incident that's going on with this Georgetown thing. But don't worry, the FBI is going to come to the rescue and explain all of it to us, right? And they want us to give up our Second Amendment rights. They want us to give up our ability to defend ourselves. What are they, nuts? No place is safe anymore, not even church. That used to be a sacred place. You didn't harm anybody in church. That was a sanctuary. That don't even matter anymore. Don't matter if you're a child, adult, older person, woman, man, it doesn't matter. This craziness. This whole Georgetown thing stinks because you know what? It's amazing how I can find information easier about the Sydney, Australia, that Jewish Hanukkah festival that got shot up in Australia, than I can about our own shooting in this country. Why is that? It's like they're always trying to cover something up. I just don't know how you sit there, walk past all those cameras, and then able to just walk away. What they say, they found him in a hotel room 20-some miles away. Anyway, well, something must have led him to him. And, to me, it sounds like they're setting him up as a patsy. Like I say, it's a Charlie Kirk thing all over again. Damn playbook, same playbook all over again. Something reminds me that happened in 2001 on September 11th, and we went to war with this certain group of people that have caused these events this week. And like I say, we don't know if the Georgetown was a Aloha snack bar person, but they're definitely not, they knew he yelled something, they just don't know what he yelled, right? It's amazing how they conveniently cover up the truth. And let me tell you something. With all the history that I have learned over the last few years, and I was always a history buff growing up, but they really hide a lot of stuff, okay? They hide a lot of the history or the truth of the history. Not to say that the truth that they are saying, but it's not all of it. They hide up the part that promotes their side. They'll hide the stuff that so it doesn't, if it doesn't benefit them, they hide it. It's crazy. It's crazy what I've learned about history. I was not taught wrong, but I wasn't taught everything. When you sit there and had questions that I had in history class, how people could sit there and allow some things to happen, and now I'm finding out more of the history of why it would happen. Okay. But anyway, we went to war with these people, right? And all of a sudden now, just like in Biden's administration, Trump's got these Al-Qaeda, ISIS, terrorist leaders that are good guys now in the White House. Trying to make deals with some people that, were rejoicing when the Twin Towers fell and America was attacked. Hey, you heard of the YouTuber resisting Trump's stupidity? I don't have a point, but I wish you could see how moronic that guy's channel is. The country is so close to complete division. Yeah. Did you see my short today on the division? Thought it was a good day. When evil is allowed to flourish, when division, or I don't know, you have to read it, look it up. But, exactly. They got to divide everything. I mean, when you surround an army group, let's say you're at war, and you surround 600,000 troops, do you think you sit there and go at them all at one time? No, you drive a wedge through the pocket and split the pocket in half. Then you drive some more wedges, break it into the 4 pockets, and you keep hitting it till the pockets don't exist. Okay? But anyway, these people, obviously these terrorists are now our government's friends, but still not the American people's friends. Okay? I don't understand it. I don't understand it. But yeah, I put out a lot of shorts. If you haven't been watching my channel lately, you'll see the ones that thing is sometimes I wake up in a foul mood because I feel the pressure of the government. And I dream it in my sleeps and I wake up in a foul mood with a lot of thoughts of the day. But, it's my channel. And that's what makes my channel grow. They always say, anyway, I'm not going to get into the YouTube thing because we got other things to discuss tonight. But obviously, we got some radicals all over the world that are starting to lose their minds. And then they say, like the Australia thing, right? Let's forget about the Georgetown thing because they don't want to talk about that right now. Like I say, it's kind of hard to find information out when they won't give any information out. Okay? Just real curious about that. Anyway, let's talk about the Sydney, Australia thing. I mean, that's crazy time. Thank God that one bystander stepped in. See, this is the thing, being a Marine, okay? And I realize I'm trained in that stuff and experienced. But my God, especially if somebody's trying to attack with a group of people with a knife, pick up a chair and hit them with the goddamn thing. Okay? Somebody comes after you with a knife, pick up something that's 4 feet long and knock them on their fucking keister. But yeah, they showed that video of that guy, he saved lives. But to me, I haven't heard the whole story, but how did both of the shooters get killed if maybe that shooter killed him? I don't know. I got to look more to the story. I'm trying to figure out the Georgetown thing. And all I got, pushed is the Sydney thing. Boy, they're pushing that. Why? Why are they pushing the Sydney thing? Can anybody come up with a reason? I'll tell you why. What's the first country that they want to sit there and attack because of this? Iran. If Iran's behind this or whatever, they're going to make it so Iran's behind it, whether they did it or not, okay? The propaganda is going to convince the masses that, that Iran did it. See, this is just a false flag in Australia so Israel can go to war with Iran. And wasn't it last time Israel couldn't beat them until we went in and finished the job? Whatever. Like I say, if I'm not supposed to believe in an international Jewish conspiracy, which I never did, can they stop showing me evidence that one exists? Okay? Never believed it existed, even when Hitler said it. But you know what? Sure looking like it now. But let's forget about the Georgetown. Like I say, it's hard to find information on the Georgetown. And as you can see, YouTube ain't promoting my video. Oh, fighting this algorithm. It's terrible sometimes. They don't want any critical thinking people out there at all. They don't want anybody on YouTube that's not afraid to say what they have to say and maybe get somebody not to agree with them, but to get thinking, using this thing between their ears. They don't want people doing that. They don't want people saying, they don't even know the facts behind Sydney, and they're already talking about bombing Iran. Boy, haven't even finished doing step 1, and they're talking about step 20 already. God, do you ever feel like Americans were just being played for fools? And the thing is, thank you for the super chat. I appreciate it. I know you're self-sustaining, but want to tip you. I appreciate it. Appreciate it. I tell you what, the thing is I want to do on YouTube, I don't want to be here doing gloom and doom. I got to get the truth up, but I want to make people laugh. I don't know if you know Red Green, but I want to do a skit show like that. Have some lots. I mean, actual show like that. It's this thing I can't get none of my friends that want to be characters. And I said the best thing about all of us, you guys being characters, nobody'd have to put a costume on. But we got to solve these problems first. Americans cannot. I don't even know how you live in a big city. How do you deal with the stress? Beyond the crazies in the street, and now we obviously got almost like jihad being performed all over the world. When can we have peace? Why do we constantly have to have war? How come we can't sit there and make a goal for one day on the world? Nobody can be mean to each other. Nobody can break a fucking law. Everybody's going to be good and treat your neighbor as you want yourself to be treated. Why can't we do that for one fucking day? Have peace on earth. This stuff gets stressful. You know, I live out here in the middle of nowhere, not in the middle of nowhere, but in really rural area. And we just don't have the problems around here that other people are living with in this country. Makes me feel guilty that I live and leave it to Beaverland, where I got to lock my doors or take my keys out of my vehicle. You know, it's really hard to understand why the rest of the country can't live like this. But the reason is because, like Dearborn, Michigan, what the American citizens are having to put up with there. Like I say, didn't we go to war with these people? I mean, that New York Times reporter flat out did this video, sat there and said he was from Pakistan. Your mistake was letting us in. Flat out admits it. Well, then when we correct that mistake and kick them out, saying how we come in here and we're going to breed because we like breeding, and we're going to bring our grandmas and our aunties and our cousins. They're all coming. Basically admitting they're here to invade. And then sitting there saying, oh, your women want us brown folk too. And that's what he's saying. He wasn't saying black or white. He was saying brown folk when he was Pakistani. So he wasn't thinking about you black folk either. See, you're in the way in this country too. Yeah, Michigan, how did they get that this far? I don't know. But I tell you what, if a revolution against Muslims start out in this country, that's where it's going to start out. You know, when I sat there and watched that Dearborn, Michigan mayor talk down to that U.S. white guy, you know, that white man citizen in the city council, you know, this is our country. How many Americans are willing to fight for your country? Okay, all these attitudes are going to change in the future. When you got to deal with it and you're coming down your street, a lot of people are going to wake up. And then all the crazy vets that you had in your street that, oh my God, that's crazy. You're going to be over his door. Save our asses, please. You know, because some of us Americans like me have dealt with terrorists before. We dealt with their daddies. They were real killers. Okay? I know how evil they are. I've been briefed on Americans that were taken hostage back in the 80s and what happened to them during our information briefs. Let's just say terrorists like Black and Decker. Always said I'd save the last bullet for myself because there's no fucking way I'd ever went through that. But anyway, now we're back to the same old shit. The thing is, they think they can bring these people to America and turn them into Americans. They're going to sit there and be the immigrants of the past. No, the immigrants of the past came here to be Americans. That's what immigrants do. They immigrate to a country and assimilate into their culture, and that becomes their country. They forget about their old country. Not nowadays. Nowadays, we got invaders. They're coming here to conquer, and they admit it. I mean, let's get real, people. All of a sudden, we have, between the illegals and the people who want to take over this country, let's say the Muslims and the illegals and all get together, and they got 40% of the population of the country, and they all got the same gun rights we do. It's going to be a tough fight. These people, see, as a Marine and dealing with these sons of bitches during Reagan, I understand they hate Americans and want to fucking kill us. Okay? And that's the only thing that these people pass down successfully from generation to generation is their hate for their enemies. And guess what? That hate hasn't gone away. And we sit there and let them in, and now we're arming them. I mean, let's not forget about the National Guard attack in D.C. Who was that done by? Aloha Snack Bar. American be very arrogant. Yeah, I agree. I agree. If we lived by our founding fathers' rules, we would be messing with other countries. This is one thing I also learned when I traveled the world as a Marine. That we are butting our noses in where it didn't belong. That a lot of people in the Middle East don't understand democracy. They don't want it. They're happy living their fucking lives. And then all of a sudden the U.S. comes into their area. It's like, oh shit, we got to deal with the United States again. I completely agree. We need to stop it. But, for some reason, our politicians think we need to be the world's police force. And I was part of it at one time. But, like I say, I ask, why are we over here doing this? And the answer would be, so we deal with it over here, so we don't have to deal with it in our country. Okay? And look what we're dealing with. But I'm supposed to settle down, right? The enemy I fought overseas is now killing Americans in America, but I'm supposed to settle down. Well, all the people that telling me to settle down, I know how to handle these people. Do you? I have the training and the experience to deal with these people. Do you? You want to sit there and wait till we have 30% of the people that hate America on your block? Is that when you're going to decide maybe it's time to stand up? Anyway, just before Christmas, people died. The shooting of the National Guard before Thanksgiving, 2 days before Thanksgiving. The people that are in the military and the people that are dying, it's not the politicians, kids. It's not the fucking politicians, okay? Yeah, Charlie Kirk, that was a famous one. But in mass shootings, it's the average American who's just trying to live a life and be happy. And they can't even do it safely. In school on Saturday, studying or taking a test, whatever they were doing. I mean, nowhere is safe. Out here, we're safe. Believe me, we're isolated out here. If you come in here and you're a stranger, the whole area knows it. Okay? We only have 4 cops in this county. 3 deputy sheriffs and the sheriff. No city cops. We only have 2 small towns. And we have 1 state trooper that takes care of a couple counties. You know why? Because the people you don't want to fuck with here. Hey, J99, how's it going? You like my shorts I've been putting out today? I tell you what, I love messing with YouTube. I mean, that one stupid, nonsensical one I put out, that one's still getting hits. See, it was a game I play. It's an absolutely retarded video. Short, and it's still getting hits. But don't worry, it's the algorithm. See, the thing is, like I say, I probe YouTube's defenses. I probe the algorithm's defenses. And, whatever. Yeah, I'm not afraid to say anything. Everybody needs to stay safe out there. If you're watching it right now, stay safe. Always have situational awareness around you. And I'm not telling you to stereotype people, okay? Because there's good people from every nationality, every religion, every color. But there's bad people from every color, every nationality, every race, and from every country, okay? So the thing is, you look at people as human beings, and you look at that human being. And somebody throws up a red flag, I tell you what, if you just do it stereotypical by race or color or whatever, you're going to miss the dangerous one. Yeah, I tell you what, like I say, when we were, of course, we're in the military, G99, okay? That's all you learn, is situational awareness there. But the average, see, this is the thing. These average civilians that tell me to settle down or tell you to settle down, we know how to deal with this type of stuff, okay? And the average civilian in this country has no clue. That's why they're fucking victims. That's why they run. If somebody was shooting up a Walmart, I wouldn't be running. You run, you get shot in the back, okay? I was taught you take out guns by running at them. To close with and destroy the enemy by fire and maneuver. Does that sound familiar, J99? To close with and destroy the enemy by fire and maneuver. Okay? But the average civilian doesn't know that. The average civilian's never went through that type of stuff. I've been pretty lucky, been in prison and lived on the earth for 44 years and only get beat up once. Not everybody wins every fight. Okay, there's always somebody better out there. But when you're fighting for your life and fighting for what's right, okay? But we got a fight going on. I mean, you just don't know where it's going to come from these days. I mean, Christmas shopping, we haven't even, we're 11 days from Christmas? We still got one more full weekend of Christmas shopping to go. Oh, God, I hope it don't get crazy next weekend. Like I say, as an American that still lives in a Roman Rockwell painting in part of America we live in, yes, besides for the medical, but I don't go to the doctor anyway. But anyway, yeah, Norman Rockwell painting. I just don't understand how the rest of America can put up with this every single day. I have a hard time putting up with the government pressure where I live, to where I want to get out there. Especially with digital ID and digital currency. Oh, don't worry. With all that, they'll be able to track everything an American does, but not these illegals, right? But and then we had the situation in Syria. What was that, Friday? Where the military got attacked or by these terrorists or whatever in Syria. Didn't he just have the Syrian president who was a terrorist at the White House? And then two of our troops, two more families that get to go through a shitty-ass Christmas and an interpreter. Remember, this is all because of the politicians. All the pain you people are feeling is because of the politicians, not because of your neighbor, not because of the guy or the woman that goes to work every day, pays their bills, comes home, lives life, and deals with the next day. Not them, okay? But we're the ones supporting all this shit financially. But it's our politicians that have caused all this. All this families that had to deal with their women, younger women in their family being raped and murdered by these illegals. Our politicians don't have to deal with that. And then if we go to war with Iran or Russia, it's not their kids that are going to be going to the front line. It's going to be people like, the National Guard woman. I don't know if the guy ended up dying, but that died. Us common folk. I would, the thing is, your kids want to join the military, that's fine. What I tell people is, don't worry, we got the war coming to this country, and you should be here to fight it here. Okay? At one point in this country, everybody's going to learn what it's like to be somebody in the military defending their country, whether they're wearing a uniform or not. They're going to understand what defending their country is. Being a military family, my husband and I always been terrified to get the knock on the door. I know. You said she's out in March, right? Crazy time. All the danger that our politicians put us in. Not only our military, but now in this country. What the average citizen is having to deal with in some of these dangerous areas. Just for being an American in their own country. But our government don't have a problem picking up how many people after January 6th, little old ladies and shit, throwing them in jail? Don't have no problem there. Anyway, it's going to get bad, people. This is a preview to what 2026 is going to be like. 2025 is literally going out with a bang. Okay? To prepare us for 2026, which is going to probably come in with a boom. We're going to war, people. Okay? This whole world's going to break into one big ass war. Where it ain't going to be like World War II where we had the definite ally. We're going to have a bunch of different factions going at each other between countries and then within countries. People are so freaking pissed off now. And when people are allowed to finally let loose, they're going to let fucking loose. All it's going to take. In England, they're dealing with the Muslims really bad. But if it starts there, or Germany, or France, hell, France, you can say it's been going on for a couple of years. But when it's actually okay, this country went in civil war because of the illegal immigration. It's just going to spread through the West like crazy. And governments are going to lose control. Okay, it's just going to be a domino effect. Okay? A very glorious audience tonight. I don't get many. The thing is, it's not about how many views you get, it's quality, okay? If I get that one person on my live stream that has the charisma and the ability to help spread the message or motivate them to start a channel and do it their own way for people to follow. I know I'm rough around the edges. I'm not a politician, okay? I belong in a foxhole, not behind a resolute desk. And I don't have a problem with that. You want to wonder what kind of founding father I would have been? Ethan Allen. You probably know him, don't you, J99? He was up there in your area. Yeah, he was a great patriot, but not a politician. Anyway, despite most people finding you unattractive, I want you to know that I'll be okay. Don't give up. I'll find you attractive. Yeah, I don't care. I'm not here to pick up women, okay? I'm not here. On the contrary, no. I've had, anyway, I got too many things I want to do over the next 50 years to ever be told I can't ride a horse. I can't listen to my sports I want to listen to. I can't play piano like I want to. I can't sit. No, I'll never have that again. A lot of men are choosing to stay single. We've been beat up enough by women. We've been told that we ain't good enough times by women. And we find solitude living by ourselves. Okay? Anyway, but do you find me unattractive? I don't really care. Like I said, I'm not here to make friends. I'm here to get the message out. I'm not here to pick up women. I'm here to get the message out. I'm not here to be famous or make a bunch of money. I'm here to get the message out, get people organized. And, like I say, do you need the enemy coming down your street before you go, oh my God, I think I need to do something. Holy shit, that crazy Marine was right. I know, J99. I tell you, the thing is, I'll tell you what. I've been divorced 3 times. Every one of my wives, because I was a family man. I'd rather stay home and with the family. I didn't like going to bars. I mean, I wasn't exciting enough. I went to work every day, supported my family, the good old traditional values. Well, so anyway, I like being my way. And that's just the way it is. I can be content. I got the Lord in my life. And personally, I would rather sit there. I'd rather ride my horse and, hang out with my animals. At least my animals have never screwed me over. Okay? Human being is one of the worst creatures in the universe. I know this now because I know how evil human beings can get when they don't like somebody. Anyway. And look at what we're dealing with. Look at what these human beings are doing, like in Sydney, like in Syria, like in Georgetown. Yeah. Hate, 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 hate. You sit there and, the thing is, G99, YouTube hates me so much, they won't even put the trolls on anymore. I was like, God, I don't even get the trolls to come here anymore. Well, I must really. Well, the thing is, trolls need a place to come to too. They need to practice their skills on somebody. I have a lot of fun on YouTube sometimes because, like I say, I got a platform, a channel, a couple channels, but this channel where I can tell my politicians what I think of them. I can give my opinion on I think the world is going. I can try to wake people up so that mob isn't coming down your street, the enemy, so you wake up before the enemy is coming down your street. This thing, a lot of Americans, if you never experience the world, you don't know how the world works. You don't know how evil the world really is. Okay, it's evil. There are a lot of bad people that are willing to do a lot of bad things to other people. And the sad part about it is a lot of them are in charge. There are leaders and stuff. Like, how could our leaders allow this to happen in our country? We just went to war with these people 24 years ago. And now they basically own Dearborn, Michigan. How the hell did that happen? How the hell did that happen? And then presidents entertaining these these terrorist leaders that are good guys now in the White House, honoring them and shit. People that were part of killing American troops, our president's now honoring the White House. Yeah, it's shameful. God, I don't understand. Make it make sense to me. I mean, is this what happens the older you get? You see how insane everybody is? Wait till the chickens come home to roost, like Reverend Wright said. Okay, our financial system's going to crash. Gold's still over $4,300 an ounce and growing, okay? Gold next year is going to explode, okay? Our dollar is going to become worthless. And we're going to be attacked in our own country. Our government's one of our main job of our federal government is to protect our borders. So Americans don't have to live in fear. So they can exercise their freedom, liberty, and their pursuit of happiness, being safe. Is that happening in our country these days? Not a chance. I get to live it here. But the person living in New York should be able to have it. It's amazing all these protests the left have. It's like, okay, if I didn't realize this was in America, it looks like I don't see an American flag. You know, ICE, best country in the world, should be safe. Yeah. But see, we all got to act. We got to get up off our duff. Like I say, still haven't had a message saying, hey, I'm willing to start organizing for the well-regulated militia. Okay? That's what we need. Like I say, J99, you're going to have your daughter and your husband. Okay? And I'm sure your daughter, she's got a husband, whatever. You got your own fire team right there already. You know, we need to have civilian response teams. Okay? Because cops are going to be busy. You're going to need your neighbors to come and respond to threats in the neighborhood. We're living in a war zone, people. Do you understand that? This is going to be a Vietnam type thing. Where was Vietnam's front line? I'll tell you what, stand here and do a circle. Everything you see as you do the circle was the front line. But our military were getting killed in Vietnam. Now it's our citizens in this country the same way. We got to wait for IEDs going off beside the road, the interstate, before, I guess we're at war because they're using military ordnance. It just, the thing is, this is going to just give the government more reason to have troops everywhere. I keep warning about checkpoints, showing your papers on all major intersections, or going from state to state. Hell, you got to stop. Anywhere you go to California, you got to stop. Why can't they just do that in the rest of the country? That was all because of the fruit fly. Remember in the 70s? And they still got to stop. 50 years later, I guess that just never went away. It's going to get bad, people. It's going to get bad. Like I say, it's going to get to the point where we can't organize. I mean, this 2026, the patriots and the vets and the patriots, we need to put the fear of God in our government. I'm not saying we need to go to war. I'm not saying it needs to be shot fired. Okay, you can do that you can put the fear of God in our government without doing that. But that's one thing we got to do, okay? I keep telling Americans, the rest of the world is looking at us and saying, hey, you people need to take your country back. If we can take our country back and start living by the founding fathers the way they wanted this country to be, the rest of the world will get a lot better. Like I say, the rest of the world, our biggest fear is the government, we're from the government, we're here to help. What do you think it's like for another country? We're from the United States, we're here to help. Yeah, we just destroyed the country next to you, but we're here to help you. The same way we're to help them. If the Jews are so powerful, why do we got to help them with Iran? Oh, that's right. They couldn't win the first time until we went in there and Trump. I'm big and powerful. We scam the whole world. Anyway, can the government produce a Wolverine type person? I don't know. They produced me, that was bad enough. Anyway, you'd have to understand. But anyway, could they produce a Wolverine? Well, why do they need to produce Wolverine? Really? They're producing bipedal, autonomous AI robots that are going to be armed. What the hell do they need Wolverine for? Yeah, they're making the Terminator. Wolverine seems kind of obsolete then, doesn't it? Would you accept the procedure if offered to complete with... Like I said, I'm unusual enough. I don't need any help in that department. But I appreciate it. Wolverine is Invincible Man. Well, maybe we could sit there and get him to play George Washington for us. But that's what we're going to need. Not a superhero, but somebody who can. We needed George Washington, a humble man who went and did his job for his fellow colonists to make them free. It wasn't about him. It was about the purpose he had. Okay? And then I'm going to serve that purpose, and I'm going to go back to my plantation and live my life. And I'm not going to get into the slavery shit, but go back to his humble life. But it's going to have to be somebody strong, somebody that people will follow, somebody that is just strong, somebody who's not afraid to say what needs to be said and is not afraid to who they say it to. Anyway, I know, like I say, I'm not supposed to be behind a Resolute desk. I'm supposed to be in a foxhole. All right? But the man that does come to take his place, they're coming out of Washington or some state government. Not going to be a politician at all. It's going to be a hard-working individual that gets their hands dirty every day and deals with the same bullshit as the average American does, because we ain't got no rich people to follow no more, not like they had in the Revolutionary War for the rich people to organize everything, because the rich people were suffering back then. They were suffering the most because they had the money. They were paying taxes. But the rich people now, too big to fail, too big to jail. They spend their money wrong. They just get bailed out by the government. The government's their friend, not their enemy. The government's our enemy. So it's going to have to be some small town grassroots person that, when the time comes, ends up fulfilling their destiny. Anyway, yeah, things are going to get crazy in 2026. And, and now they're calling for gun control laws, right? Okay, I got a question. This is going to be my short for tomorrow. If all these politicians say they don't infringe on our constitutional rights, but yet they pass gun legislation. They pass laws restricting your Second Amendment. I mean, you need a permit to exercise your Second Amendment. Okay? And if that isn't enough, then they're going to sit there and put a 200% tax on it. So you can't afford your Second Amendment. These politicians, they're gone, people. The Constitution, Declaration of Independence, and the Bill of Rights was all written in simple language at the educational level of the simple person back then. So even the average person could understand it completely. You don't need to go to college for 4 years and somebody tell you you're a really smart guy so you can, you know, undermine the Constitution. It's real easy, and I still need to do that. It's going to be a 4-hour live stream, but you know what? I don't care. I get some day where the weather's crap, I'm going to do that. Read the Declaration of Independence, and we'll, you know, do a dissertation on it. And then with the Constitution and the Bill of Rights. That'll probably be 4 hours. But you know what? A lot of people haven't. They know the first couple words, but wait till we go in there. And I'll stop. I wonder if they're breaking the Constitution here. Like I say, now American citizens, more people, families are going to have to suffer through the holidays. Anyway, this is the world we live in. And, you know, maybe one day Americans will stop being victims of these pieces of shit. And I'll call them pieces of shit with this so-called that are in charge of us. Making me sick. But don't worry. I'm sure Trump's going to have a solution to all this. Oh, yeah, let's see. Happened in Australia. Our solution is Israel can bomb the shit out of Iran. And when they start losing, then we'll go in there for the rescue. So we're going to probably be bombing Iran, what? By April? Maybe March? And then how many attacks are we going to have in this country between that time? But like I say, people, remember after 9/11? Remember the idiots that tried bringing planes down after that time? The whole cabin gang rushed him. Because they knew if they allowed him to do what he was doing, they were all going to die anyway. We actually had heroes in America. Heroes. Somebody who stood up for somebody they didn't even know because where are those people? I saw one in Australia. Okay? We need those people back. But those are the people that are supposed to shut up and be quiet, right? People that are trying to deal with this stuff, we're just supposed to allow ourselves to be victims, right? Not a chance. Not a chance. Anyway, yeah, YouTube didn't sit there and spread my channel. See, this is what I'm saying. This is why, as a YouTube creator, I know we're in a world of hurt, and time is running out. You know, and you know, just be able to react. Situational awareness. Don't look at it by stereotyping and look at it as that human being could do that. That human being looks safe. Don't judge them all as human beings. Okay? Because if you judge them any other way, stereotypical, you're going to miss the bad guy. Anyway, I've been going on for almost an hour. I'm going to get out of here. But I'll be live again tomorrow morning, 8 o'clock Mountain Time. Maybe they'll have more information on the Georgetown thing. If that guy they took into custody as a shooter, probably a patsy. Like I say, it's like it's just shady. Too much like the Charlie Kirk thing. It's too much like the Charlie Kirk thing. God, if anybody can see patterns, I was trained for that. That's why I'm so good at blackjack. That's why I get kicked out of casinos for playing blackjack because it's easy. So, you know, once you start winning the house and it's easy. They kick you out. Sorry, sir. We think you're counting cards or whatever. They come up with the excuse because you're winning too much. That's why I don't go into casinos. Because they only let me win a few hundred and then they kick me out. So that's just the way it is. The thing is, I need to lose more. When you win 23 hands in a row, they're probably going to kick you out. And that's what happens. Yeah, I won 23 hands in a row one time playing backjack. But anyway, that's during my fun time. I would like to one time go out to Vegas and play the poker tables. But I don't like that Texas Hold'em shit because I don't like the Texas Hold'em stuff. To me, it's too predictable. Anyway, but yeah, I appreciate everybody being here. Well, we didn't get too many people. Got a few people. All we do is got to hit the right people, right? I tell you what, I got the best subscribers there are. That's what's helping my channel grow. You guys kicking her forward, no matter how much YouTube wants to slam down. All these social wait till shit hits the fan in this country. If we still have social media, they'll be pushing material like mine. You know, like in Ukraine when that went crazy, how they were handing out AK-47s to anybody who was willing to shoot a Russian. Anyway, I know the channel's growing. I know. But the thing is, I'm like, the drill instructor. Their method of how they got it in your head so you never fucking forgot it. When I taught my one daughter how to drive, I taught two of them. But the second one I taught, I was tough on her. And she goes, Dad, every time I'm driving, I just have you in the back of my mind, always correcting me if I do, she drives really good. But I want to get it in your head. I want to get in your freaking head. And you don't do that by, can you please listen to me? No. We got a world of hurt coming down our path. Whether during solving the problem and enduring the problem. Enduring it. We got a world of hurt coming down. There's going to be sacrifices and lives lost. And I may be one of them. But I'd rather die fighting for my Constitution, my country, against its enemies. I don't want to live another 40 years as a slave to the ones that have taken over our country. That's not an acceptable choice at all. If I was willing to die overseas serving my country, you goddamn right I'm willing to die serving my country on my own land. My fellow citizens in the Constitution, not the government. Okay? The government, there's your authority on me. Sit and spin, bitches. But I better not do that. There's quite a few of them in there probably like that. Fucking sick. It's the truth and it's sick. Anyway, appreciate everybody being here. I'm going to get out of here. Enjoy. Hey, J99, did you check out that Eric Comp, ERICCOMP? That's what his channel name is. Check it out. That'll be me on my horse. He's just... I love his videos. He's just a homeless guy. Wow, nomadic life more he lives. And now he's making money on YouTube. But, he's another guy just said, I had enough. I'm ready to sit there and be homeless. And the only place you can be homeless now is out in the woods. Get kicked out everywhere. Yeah. I just, I like his content. It helps me realize that one day I'll be out there on my horse and I'll be looking for Bigfoot or whatever the reason is. But where I don't have to worry about being shot up. Pretty soon the danger is going to be everywhere, including where I live. Because now if you stand up for yourself and defend yourself, right, you're the one who's going to jail. Crazy world we live in, people. But I know our founding fathers gave us a Second Amendment to fight tyrants and then make sure you never had to fear anybody. Remember the Colt 45 the equalizer. Seems like there's a government that wants to take the equalizer away from the people. And we got all these, like I say, you better go around if you can carry. See, this thing, I don't like the concealed carry thing. I don't like it for the simple reason. Carry it on your hip, they see you carrying it. So if that asshole walks in the classroom and they see 10 people carrying a gun, he's going to walk right the fuck back out. Somebody wants to go rob a convenience store and sees a couple guys in there carrying on their hip that they can see, they're going to walk the fuck back out. Somebody goes into a bank and sees, 3 or 4 customers, like rural farmers, in there carrying guns, they're going to walk the fuck out. Am I the only one that thinks that way? But see, we need responsible Americans to carry guns. And the one way we can do it is stop all the division so Americans aren't pissed at each other. So we don't have average Americans shooting each other because they're mad at each other. All we got to do is worry about fucking criminals. Anyway, like I say here, I can walk it in Nebraska. It's constitutional carry. It's been, as long as they can see it, like the thing is, as long as they can see it here, that's the way it's been in this state, right? So you had people that would carry, but it was covered. But, like in a truck, if you had it in your console, well, all you had to do was pull it out and put it on your dash, and they couldn't do nothing. But if it was in your console, that was the threat. See, this is politician thinking. J99, look up resisting Trump's stupidity on you. I am going to do that. The thing is, like I say, I'm not voting again until there's a George Washington. Until any politician that says we're a democracy, I'm not voting for you because I'm not going to vote you into a government which you don't even know what form of government we have. Anyway, everybody stay safe out there. Okay, we got Christmas coming up. Be extra careful. Okay? And if it's time to do your duty and do something to protect your fellow man, we need to have these criminal terrorists running scared to know that if they try this, they're going to die for sure. But hey, how about we kill them and then throw them into a pig pit so they're surrounded by pigs? Something to jar these fuckers' heads, to scare them not to do this shit. Because right now, they don't fear us. Because what do they see? A bunch of pussy-ass Americans run around afraid to speak their own minds. They're all victims, running and running. We start sitting there taking these fuckers out, we'll have a lot less of them to deal with. Like I say, didn't we go to war with these people? We still have ISIS and Al-Qaeda killing American soldiers. Really? Guess we never solved that war on terror, did we? Good thing we got the Patriot Act, though. That was good, because that hasn't gone away either. Okay? Appreciate the super chat tonight, Jeff. Really appreciate it. Like I say, that will probably sit there because whenever I get a positive thing on my channel, I appreciate it. YouTube just and spread my content, share my content. Even if somebody you don't think is going to agree. Somebody I think this person won't agree with this, but it'll make them think. Okay? Open their mind up, and they'll start seeing the world for what it really is. Okay? And that's all I'm trying to do. I just have my unique way of doing it. Anyway, I can't wait to start my comedy stuff on YouTube. So I want to come out with a 20-plus minute little skit show every week. And do it on just one another, my goals in my life. I realize it ain't tomorrow, But then again, I didn't start on YouTube to be successful tomorrow, but I want to make people laugh. Maybe I can bring them together with laughter and do it in a get people to think instead of becoming so aggressive and abrasive, the old military type of shit, and do it in more of a comical, a way where people think about, laugh about, but then think about it. Okay. Yeah. What is the irony and the stupidity in this? I just don't feel the rest of the world, we need to live in this. The average person in the world that's just trying to survive shouldn't have to deal with this shit from the so-called rich elites that are in charge of us. People are suffering all over the world. And now this weekend, people have died all over the world. Okay. And what's their solution to it? Let's bomb Iran. More war. Gun control. Doesn't sound like that's going to solve the problem to me. Anyway, crazy times, people, crazy times. But anyway, we'll see what tomorrow will bring. Like I say, if we get a day this week, it's going to be a nice week. But if we get a day where I'm stuck inside, I will do the Constitution or the Declaration of Independence, Constitution, and the Bill of Rights. I'll set up class, people. Like I say, whew, how they're breaking the Constitution is unreal. Anyway, but that should be an interesting one. I'm sure YouTube will promote the hell out of that one. Anyway, everybody have a great night. Appreciate you being here. If you like the content, please hit the thumbs up, the subscribe, and the bell notification. Anything to help the channel grow. We're all going to be in this world of hurt together, people. Like I say, these people attacking our country don't care what color you are, don't care what nationality you are. Okay, don't care what gender you are, how old, what your age is. You're an American, and you got to go. The same attitude these people had when I was dealing with them when I was in the Marine Corps. Time to wake up, vets. We fought the enemy on foreign shores, and now the enemy's on our shore. Our duty isn't up yet. It's just begun. Anyway, that's all I got for tonight. Appreciate y'all being here. This is Tom with Hidden Truths. I'm out of here.